good morning, guys. It's Cali. How are you today? It's beautiful out. I can smell spring in the air this morning, and you just get that spring fever kind of feeling. So I'm ready, and I hope you guys are feeling great too. I actually have a little bit of an auction haul for you guys today, for myself, for you guys. Let me tell you, it's bringing up a lot of conflicting things, as I knew it would with the KonMari auction. It's blowing my mind a little bit. So anyway, I'll get to that in 1 second. I just want to follow up, let you know what I've been doing for the rest of the week since Wednesday, which was a long video. My God, it was probably close to an hour, and thanks you guys for those who stuck with me. It took forever to upload, like overnight, and I don't know. YouTube was being glitchy, or we'll blame it on the full moon or something, but that was good. And what else? I rescheduled my car. I was supposed to bring my car in for repair. And don't worry, I literally in the last 2 years, I probably drive under 20 miles a week. If that. That's probably a lot compared to what I used to. So I haven't been driving it. I've rescheduled it for next Thursday. Tom will follow me down. And Nick's up this whole week too. So maybe we can combine it with a day trip or do something that day, and we'll just drop it off and get it taken care of. So no worries about that. And again, if anyone who knows me well knows that it doesn't take much for me to have an excuse to procrastinate or reschedule something. So I always want to do it again tomorrow. But my grandson spent the night on Friday, and that was really good. And even, he knew that grandma's ribs, which, by the way, I'm still healing. I hate to even mention it. I sound like a whiner. It takes a long time, Still hurting, still healing, but I'm 100% better than I was last week. So that was good. And it's wonderful. He was only here for one night. I asked him if he wanted to go to the auction with us. He said no. So, and I think maybe the closer it got to it, he was changing his mind. But anyway, I'm going to offer it up again next week for him if he would like to do 2 nights at grandma's. And, I love having him here. I forget how exhausting it is to have young children. So by the time he's ready to leave, I'm ready for him to leave. But the second the door closes, I feel guilty. I'm like, oh, I want him to come back. So, but it's a lot. And that's why, I'm so glad I had my children as young as I did. I had my first daughter, Rachel, when I was 19. And, no, that's not true. I was 20. Sorry, Ray Ray. I had just turned 20. And 22 and 24. By the time I was 24, I had 3 kids, But I had the energy back then. I saw a video not too long ago, a couple years ago, of my oldest daughter's like 5th birthday party. So I had a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a baby. And you could see me in the video clip, like nonstop, just going, Makes me tired to even think about it. But that's one of the joys of being a grandma, too, is that you get them in small doses, and then they wipe you out, and they go home, and then you can rejuvenate, and then they come back again. So I just love spending time with him. And he was a velociraptor this weekend, so we got to have a velociraptor in the house. And it's funny, he tells me, and I really try not to preach to anybody about being vegan or my diet or anything like that. But obviously, my kids are like, what? We used to eat, you raised us on meat and all this stuff. And I'm like, I know. I just know better now, But again, no judgment. But it's funny because it will, obviously it trickles out all over my life. And so my grandson is 6 and he's very aware. And so I guess he went home and told his parents that he was now vegan and he didn't eat animals anymore. And then I guess his mother was like, well, those chicken nuggets are chicken. And I don't want to, I have to go with, I'm not parenting them. They're not my children to parent. They're my grandchildren. But the choices I make in my house obviously affect them. But so we tried some of these chicken nuggets that were 100% plant protein, 100% vegan. And I posted a picture of them on Facebook. And I try not to buy a lot of processed food, vegan or otherwise. But I do occasionally have veggie burgers or whatever in the freezer and stuff. So, but these chicken nugget things were a hit, and he loved them and ate a whole bag, small bag of them, and ask for more, So kids will eat what you give them. And same thing, he loves hummus, and he'll, celery sticks, and we made our own hash browns, which he asked me, how come, they don't look like the ones at Dunkin' Donuts. But when you get them involved, and he also was involved in my gardening since he was a kid too, so he's seen where a cucumber comes from, where a tomato comes from. And all kids are like that. If a lot of people think, oh, my kids won't eat that. Children will not starve themselves, and given an array of good, healthy choices, they will pick from a healthy choice. And the worst thing they'll do is refuse to eat and trust and believe the human body will not let itself starve to death, and they will break down and eat something. But that's the end of I'm not on a soapbox. I don't want to lecture anyone. But just know that since I have made these choices, I didn't know I was going to be talking about veganism in this video, but I'm going with it. Since I have made these choices, and for those of you who don't know, for 49 years, followed a standard American diet and ate anything and everything, and years of yo-yo fasting and cleansing and trying to deal with my weight and be skinny and all these things, and yo-yo of that. I drank heavily for 10 years. I was a smoker for over 30 years, just trashing my body. At the age of 49, I decided to become, it was starting to trickle in, but became vegetarian, 100% vegetarian. And then in November of 2015, I began juicing daily, which now is more like 3 to 4 times a week. I'm not doing it every day, but I am doing it 3 to 4 times a week, every morning. And I'm 99.9% vegan, or as close to it as I can be without being insane with it. If I go somewhere, and I can't even give you an example. If I were served something and it, I'm not going to be like, but I do make sure that I'm not in those situations, right? Anyway, what was my point? My grandchild. So he came over, and I love, and now it's to the point where my youngest, because I have 2 grandchildren that live in North Carolina. I have 1 grandchild that lives a couple counties over, and then I have 2 that are very close by. And the older one, Carter, is 6 years old, and he's the one who comes over all the time. Well, his sister, Cammie, is 2, and she's now becoming very aware that her brother is going to spend the night at Grandma's, and she's asking. And I don't know that I could do 2 at once, and this is where the guilt comes in, right? And not to blame my leg for anything, but honestly, to toddler, child, so I feel so bad. So I actually, now I told her when they came to bed, I was like, when you're 3, so it's hard though, right? How do you guys who have grandkids or kids balance that? Yeah, and then I have to deal with Skype for the others, but I love my grandkids. I'm blessed, beyond blessed to have 3 amazing, wonderful, healthy, beautiful children who have gifted me with the joys of my life. So, yeah, that was fun. And we did some drawing. Last time we were together, he wanted me to draw like a great white shark and things like that. Burning buildings were a big hit. And I try to steer him away. I'm like, no, Grandma doesn't like guns. Grandma doesn't like fighting. Grandma doesn't, let's love the birdies. But that's okay. That's what kids are for, right? Kids are for. That's what, kids know, and they get a balance, and you give them different slices of your life, right? So anyway, it's wonderful. I love, I'm a kid anyway, so it definitely allows me to revisit that. So that was my week since I saw you, and I did, oh my gosh, it's almost embarrassing for me. Talk about procrastination. Last night at the auction, these are my postcards that I'm mailing out for Happy Mail, right? Kat asked me last night, hi Kat, hi Caitlin, how's your postcards? Because she knows me, and I think you guys, you know what it is, and these are just postcards that mixed media postcards that I'm making to send out for Happy Mail, right? And I did add a fabric strip at the top, so they're coming along. And also, I had made, in my What's Up Wednesday video, I showed you how I was playing with alcohol inks on printer paper with using white ink on a stamp. And again, this is a design by Gina Ahrens, which they came out amazing, right? So I've done these and I've cut them out. And that's like, I'm planning on using these with the mixed media postcards, right? Well, that's as far as I've gotten with these postcards. And literally, it's like 2 weeks now, you guys, going on. And it's part of my perfectionistic nature. I really struggle, and I'm learning this because for those of you who know me, I've only done art full time now for the last year and a half. You know, I've been an RN, I've been a mom, I've been in many, many things. I've always loved art, but I've never worked at my craft up until last year, right? So for myself, I'm fine with what I create and I can be free with it and everything else. Well, being on YouTube now, which has changed my life in so many ways, so much for the better, but, you know, you're putting yourself out there to the world, right? So showing my work to you, while I love it, and that's why I'm here, honestly, believe it or not, in spite of everything else, I really, at the heart of my channel, I want to share my art with you. My life as art, if you will, but actual art as well. Makes me so, you know, it's very self-conscious. It's very soul-bearing to do that. So I want it all to be perfect. Well, and I know there's no such thing as perfection. Don't get me wrong. But that does hinder me because if I'm not happy with something, it'll stop me until and I want it to be just right. And if I'm going to send it out to someone else, even more so. So how do you guys cope? For those of you who, film videos and make art, how do you cope with that for yourselves? Because I've received some amazing art from you guys. And, have you had that same struggle? I'm just curious. So anyway, for anyone who wants to know, Kat, and for those of you who know, I'm still working away at these. And I don't ever want anything to become a chore. I was talking with Kat last night at the auction, who has herself, Kat, I'm going to talk about you for a minute. Kat is, this young mother, woman, amazing sister who, I feel like I'm kind of mentoring in a way. And she watches my YouTube videos, and through that, I've kind of turned her on to some other people. And I'm happy to say that one of the other people that I've been able to turn her on to is the art Sherpa, Miss Cinnamon Cooney. And Kat found Cinnamon, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kat, through the last Looking Through the Art Glass art crawl that I had the honor to be a part of, that Mark Muir hosted through the Creative Arts Collaboration. Cinnamon being someone else who participated. Kat saw Cinnamon's video and was inspired to create artwork for her daughter, Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin! And did these amazing canvases of ballerinas using the same technique that Cinnamon used. And the first one that she did blew my mind. She sent me a picture and I was like, oh my God, same thing. Like, what do you mean if this is how you begin? Holy, wow, amazing, beautiful work. But I said to her last night, we were talking about it, and she's like, well, I'm such a perfectionist. Yeah, I can relate to that, sister. She didn't like something about it or whatever, and so she made another one. And the other one was even more amazing, And so, what's my point? Did I have a point? Doing artwork, sharing with the world, you have to, it's very vulnerable. You have to be brave to do it. So I salute my brothers and sisters who choose to do the same thing. And I wonder about your own internal struggles with that. So if you're comfortable sharing with me, share and let me know. Another thing that I did just playing around this week, I want to invest in some white tiles. And I know I can get them for like 15 cents a piece at Home Depot. And I haven't gotten my butt over there yet. So I actually went online to look because, Amazon is my best friend, right? Not. A lot of times, I was talking with Sherry about that. Hi, Sherry, baby! I was speaking of the auction about this last night, that sometimes I'll go on Amazon and I'll fill up my cart and then I'll never check out. So I kind of feel like I've done all the shopping, but it doesn't cost me anything and I don't have to live with buyer's regret. And at the end of the month, I might take a look through and see, oh yeah, I really did want that pen, or I really did need that. But it's kind of cool if you're, into things like that. But anyway, another segue. So I looked online for tiles, right? And they're really freaking expensive. And to pay, I used to have a Prime membership back when I was working and could afford $100 a year for Prime. Tom has Prime now, so if I need something shipped, I can have it shipped through him for free shipping. But never mind, here, if it was shipped here, the shipping was crazy because they're heavy. Anyway, I had some tiles that I had gotten at the auction, and of course, I wanted to show you a before picture. Maybe I'll insert it because I did have one on Facebook, but they weren't plain white tiles. They were just 4 tiles that had kind of a country-ish design, not my style at all. But when I got them, I thought I'll alter them. And so I had been playing around with the alcohol inks, like I told you guys. And I love this white stamping on top of that. I'm going to do some more of that. Excuse me. So I just took one of the tiles, and you can kind of see, you could see the 2 squares underneath it that were still from the original design. But I just played with my alcohol inks all over these, and this is just a background for now, but it's a trivet. It's cork on the back, and I'm going to use it as a hot plate, and I'm in love with it. And, go figure, it's kind of purple and fuchsia and teal, but isn't that pretty, you guys? So I'm loving the alcohol inks. I don't have any kind of blenders, if you will, but I know they're just felt, right? You could just make them. So I do have some felt, and I will be... I'm going to be finished doing more Kamari this week, you guys. My point is, stay focused, Cali. I have felt. I'm going to make my own daubers. But in the meantime, I just used like a cotton ball, and I kind of wrapped it up tight so the wisps weren't falling apart. And I just kind of used that to blend around, and it worked fine. Anyway, yeah, so just talk quickly about Kamari. I am at the finish line. Hi, Secret. That was for you, sister. I'm getting near the end, and I think, speaking of procrastination, that's why I'm slowing down. But honestly, let's get real. I hurt myself, but it's getting tougher and tougher because these are becoming now things that are close to me. Well, I don't know. It's all been very cathartic, and when I'm done with this whole process, I will do again, I told you I'd do a cottage tour, but I'll also do a follow-up of like how emotionally this whole experience has affected me, etc. But for you guys who don't know, and I say it all the time, but what I have yet left to do is house decor, so everything on the walls, my holiday items, so all Christmas decorations and Halloween type of decorations, my witchy things, which will include all of my incense, I already did candles, my divination tools, my tarot decks, things like that, so all things witchy, and then all of my sewing, which is why I was talking about felt before, because I know I have felt, so that'll be material, threads, all of my quilting supplies, all of my sewing supplies, my sewing machine, sewing grids, all of that stuff, all things needle and thread. And then I may include my knitting and crocheting in with that because that's much less. I know how to knit and I know how to crochet, but I'm not big on either. My mom is really good at that stuff. It's not my thing. I would much rather sew, or I do like to quilt, but I haven't quilted in 2 years. I mean, the last quilt I made was for my granddaughter Riley, who is now 3. So I may include that. And then my art supplies. I'm saving the art supplies for last. I don't have a lot of that, you guys. I think, well, I say this every category until I lay it all out on the floor. But again, I told you I've only been arting full time for the last year and a half. So there really isn't that much. But I'm getting near the end. I may do some more later on today. Although I think I'm going to make a big pot of soup. That sounds good, doesn't it? It's a beautiful day, but it's still cold and crisp. And I think I might make some like lentil, potato, carrot. I don't know. For when I chop my vegetables for whatever I'm making, I'll save the ends of them or the little pieces and the extra stuff, and I throw it in a bag in my freezer, and when the bag gets full, I make a big batch of vegetable broth. So I just thawed out one of those frozen bags of vegetable broth last night in the refrigerator. So I'll use that and then just throw in whatever I have on hand, which I think I'm going to do potatoes, carrots, celery, maybe lentils, tomato, something. It's a good day for a pot of soup, right? I'm probably not going to film that because it's just a recipe out of my head, but I will be doing some more cooking videos as well. I got a good response for those, and I enjoy them. So I think that's it, you guys. This upcoming week, I'm going to have lunch with Sylvia on Monday. Tom, Nick, and I are going to do that, and then get the car fixed and whatever else. I'm itching, really itchy to get into the polymer clay again. I have a lot of good ideas. There are some, it's been kind of a lull art-wise for me, you know, as far as projects, but coming up soon enough. I mean, it's a leap year this month, so, but March 1st is right around the corner, and we'll have, you know, a new Gypsy and the Witch page coming out. All links below. A new Mike Deacon Mission Inspiration page I'll be working on. A new challenge collaboration for creative arts group in March, as well as a few other projects that I have on my mind. So that's what's coming up. And without further ado, let me tell you about the auction last night. We had been gone, you know, it was like, this was the 4th week we finally, you know, showed up. So it was like, yay, oh my God, hi, I missed you. You look 10 years younger. Oh my God, you know, you feel like you haven't seen everybody. And I hadn't seen Patty or Jonathan or Kat or Diana or Ross or Sherry. And, it, you know, so it feels so good to just reconnect. Hope, and I'm not going to bore you guys with the list of everyone I love. Eagle and Mary over there, but I love my family. So that part is always wonderful. And it was great to see everyone. And we settled in, and they talked about, which I didn't know, apparently today they're also doing a big auction next door to the original auction house. They have like a warehouse, and they have more, what they said they were going to be selling more like pricier items, so more artwork and furniture and stuff. I did go online and check the listing to see, because they had the things listed, and not anything I was interested in, nor Tom, so we're not going to do that today. And let me tell you guys, aside from the social people aspect, my mind was a little blown last night with KonMari versus auction brain, okay? Here I have spent the last month and a half purging my house, only keeping items that spark joy, having Tom break his back, carrying this stuff to the United Way, letting go, the purge, the emotional, all this stuff, right? So now here I am sitting at the auction again to get more stuff. Wah. Oh my gosh, right? So I knew this was going to come up. And I'm a big girl. I'm 51. You know, I can exercise some self-control, she says confidently. Well, apparently not, because I came home with more stuff from the auction. Let me tell you, maybe I needed this lesson last night, because I think it is, you know, I had a talk with Tom about it this morning. It's almost, it's an addiction. Shopping, acquiring things, and I you guys know, I'm not a materialistic girl. I would happily live in a yurt or a tiny home or a converted school bus with 2 pair of jeans and a pair of sandals and a guitar. Like, I'm not materialistic, okay? So I'm not a shopper. You will never find me at the mall, things like that. No offense to anyone who's into that. A lot of people are. Other things filled my world, right? But it all turns on the same center in your brain and releases those endorphins, right? So we need a fix to feel good again, right? And shopping does that. And that rush of, and especially the auction, and for those of you who, I don't spend a lot of time on eBay or things like that, but auction sites, part of that rush is getting that bargain, right? I told you, same thing. I'm a couponer, right? I want to get a deal. Well, the best deal of all is not spending the money on anything in the first place. That's saving 100%, right? But I still can't, like, if it's only only a dollar. If I had, I have like 1,000 subscribers right now. If I said, each one of you send me only a dollar, I'd have $1,000. That's a lot of money and spent, over time. So I'm struggling, you guys. I'm really struggling. And I don't want it to be a struggle. It should be joy, or don't do it at all, right? So do I take a break from it? I'm going to miss everybody if I do that, right? Do I sit there for 4 hours each week and just sit on my hands and not get anything? Maybe. Is it a lesson I'm supposed to be learning? This kind of self-restraint? I don't know. Am I thinking too much about it? Probably. But what do you guys think? All I know is that I got some stuff last night that, of course, I need and I'm going to use. And I will put these things to good use. But part of my guilt, I'm like, I got to do something with these. So I have thought of something. So after all that, let me show you what I got at the auction. Now, the first things I'll show you were given to me. So when I walked in, I told you I gave Kat that steam iron, so she's going to use that for Caitlin. Hi, Caitlin! Her dresses. And I also gave Patty and Jonathan, a really cool decanter that was like in a wooden thing. Very cool. So that was nice to do. And Patty, in turn, gave me a whole pack of, thank you, sister, a whole pack of blank CDs to do what with? To make amazing CD mandalas with, which we will be doing that together as well, sisters. So don't, spring is coming. I will get my butt out of the house. But that was really sweet of her to do that. So thank you. And then, so the auction's starting. We're seeing everybody. And at one point, for those of you who have been following me for a while, you know that one of the things that I love the best, and I still do love the best, we're buying these kind of anonymous bags of beads and costume jewelry that they would have. And then I, in turn, take it apart and turn it into other things, right? And getting them really cheap. Well, one group of stuff went up, and it was a bunch of beads, and there were some pocket watches as well. And I bid, and they stopped at $5, and they went to put it away. And I said, $1 bill. And they were like, no. They weren't into dollar bills last night. So anyway, later on in the night, my dear sister Kat, who loves me and takes such good care of me, gifted me with what I had been bidding on. So thank you, sister, for getting that for me. Kat's amazing, and she takes good care of me. So I'll show you. I don't have it in a bag. I'll put it in my hand, but there's a whole bunch of goodies here, which I will now proceed to show you in no particular order. One of them is this pocket, and all of this stuff I will be deconstructing and using in my artwork. And I'm kind of excited about a couple of these things. And one of the things I'm excited about are these little pocket watches, you guys. So these are real deal. It's not plastic. I mean, it's not gold, but it's nice, And this opens. This one is empty. And I have a really good idea for this. And I'm pretty excited to turn this into a magical fantasy kind of locket. And then there's another one, which this is so not my style, but for those of you who maybe it is, this will be altered. And here's the back. Boy, that would be cool to press into some clay, right? And this is a pocket watch. And I will also be altering this. So I may deconstruct this, take it out for some gears, or I may leave it alone. I'm definitely going to be altering the outside of that. You guys know I'm not a gold girl. But those alone, hello. Thank you, sister. I'm like hitting myself in the head. Also, this I'm not crazy about, but I'll find something to do with it. You can always use chain in my junk drawer collages, things like that. So, I'm kind of, look. Yeah, OG. No, not. I don't think so. Anyway, I will find something to do with that, though. This next thing I love, and I will not This is not like something I would wear, but I will definitely be deconstructing it. Look at that, a cool glass bead. It's just beautiful. And these are old school, you guys. And these green beads are also not plastic. They're glass. These are metal. Just gorgeous. So I will be deconstructing this as well. And using it probably for something to hang in the window. Go figure. This next thing I also love, love, love. None of these will I be wearing. They will all be ornamental in the window. But check out the clasp on this, you guys. I love these old-fashioned ornate clasps. For those of you who, yeah, she says I can't even do it. For those of you who make jewelry. Come on, seriously? Thank you. I love these clasps that I can't make work. Yeah. Gorgeous. I mean, if I were to buy that, it would cost me $1 or $2 at least, you know? So there's the clasp, which I'm going to undo now. And look at these beads, you guys. Yeah, so they're gorgeous. Love these blue ones, right? Gorgeous. So you'll be seeing these again somehow. And that'll be interesting when I do my art supplies, my beads. I kind of look forward to it because you guys know I really do like to organize and things. It's something that makes me happy. So looking forward to kind of getting everything in order. Here's another necklace that will be very cool to take the beads off of. Again, these are metal. None of this is like crappy stuff. It's all glass. Look at these. Look at these. My camera's been really blurry lately. Like not focusing well, I've noticed. It's been kind of glitchy. And I use my phone camera, so that could be why. Someday I'll have a real camera. It's on my wish list. Aren't these nice? Alright, guys. So, one more. And this is really not my style, but very cool bead. And just plain glass. Black. So, thank you, Sister Cat. Hooked me up again. And, okay, on to what I got. The first thing I got was $3. Oh, yeah. We spent, well, Tom and Nick last night got an electric ice cream maker. Like a pretty cool one. So they got an ice cream maker. I'll have to make sorbet or something. Fruit ice. And they also got like a cool strobe light. Kind of real hippy-dippy, authentic 70s. Not a strobe light, but that kind of a trippy light kind of a thing. So they got stuff. But my things that I'm about to show you came to a total of $4. And whatever tax was on that. So thank you, Tom and Nick, as always. Tom. The first thing I got was still in the box, has a receipt in it, dated December 8th, 1983, or December 3rd, 1983, and apparently somebody got this for Christmas for $26.99, and I paid $3 for it. It's still in the box with the warranty. And I swear, Mom, tell me, didn't we used to have this can opener? And you guys, I needed a can opener. I have a hand one, which I really like to use those. But honestly, as much as I like to, you know, my hands are not what they used to be as far as strength and grip. And I could see, you know, when I'm 90, having a problem using a hand can opener. But anyway, I'm having a problem now. So I got an electric can opener. It's a Space Saver one. It fits under your counter. You guys have totally seen these, right? I was hoping to mount it inside the cabinet, which is possible we may be able to do that. We'd have to drill a hole down through the bottom. But anyway, $3. It's all here, including a warranty and everything else. I took it out. It's practical, right? It was only $3, right? I'm going to use it all the time. I needed it. Really, the can opener I have, honestly, true story, on my grandkids' lives, the one I have now isn't turning correctly, and I have to kind of punch it down. So, yeah, listen to me. Make excuses and justify. Okay, the next thing, you guys, you're not even going to believe, with the bottle purge that I just completed, poor Tom. Tom looked at me and he was like, I am not taking those back to the United Way. And I don't blame him. You guys, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think there were like 12 of these, but 4 were different that I left there. Okay, look. They're glass. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. They're all dirty. I haven't cleaned them yet. Okay? Alright, you guys, I got a box full. These are all the, like, different colors, but all the same style. They're heavy. They're glass. Here's some red ones. Pink. Okay. I do have a plan for these now, although I didn't last night when I got them. I was just like, only $1, you guys. Only $1 for all these, all right? And like, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 8 of these. And there were 4 more that were like thinner and different. They were square, but they were not the same as these, and I didn't like them as much. They didn't spark joy, so I left them there. But inside each one of these, you guys, I'm going to show you. They were filled with, can you guess? Which was part of the appeal for me. Honestly, I have to admit I have an addiction, and I'll show you how many I wound up with, but they were all filled to the brim like this. Okay? Oh my God. 2 of my addictions in one handy compartment. Glass bottles and marbles. 8 of them for $1. I have to have it. Which is what happened. They were all full. Look at the marbles, you guys. I have a problem. I put them in my colander. I'm going to wash them. Look at this. Okay? But then, and again, as I'm thinking this morning, I'm like, oh my God, I have to like come up with some more projects to use these in. I've already done baked marbles. We've wrapped marbles. So I do have some thoughts, but you know what these would be good for? She says, trying to justify it again. In a few more weeks, actually, not too long, another month, I'm going to be repotting most of my houseplants. So won't these be nice to put, what a lovely drainage option in the bottom of my pots to put some marbles, which will allow my plants to drain thoroughly while not letting the water pool. And that's a good idea, right? Yeah. Someday when I build my cob studio, that's a dream of mine, you guys, to build a real cob, C-O-B, look it up online if you don't know anything about cob building. I'll use these, I'll make windows out of these. But for right now, so I am going to come up with some projects. I may be just, who knows, you're going to find me buried under a mountain of marbles. Did I need these? Not really. Did they spark joy? Yeah. Is it practical? No. So I don't know how this is going to affect my auction hauls, you guys. Obviously it already has. So that's what I got at the auction last night. The jars full of marbles, which were $1, and the can opener, which was $3, and the beautiful jewelry from Kat, and the CDs from Patty. And also, Tom had picked up, I wanted to show you guys because they're just so amazing. I mentioned sometimes, I've already opened these, but I've mentioned sometimes there's a store near us called the Arati store, A-R-A-T-I store in South Fallsburg, New York. And they sell amazing crystals and incense and all things, you know, they're right next door to an ashram. And they are just amazing people over there. Anyway, so these are 100% vegan. It is a spicy snack mix, and I cannot recommend these enough. Incredible. I wanted to share these with you guys. I was munching on these last night, and I will be munching on these today. So, super good, super tasty. I think this bag was like $4, I think he said. So, Highly recommend it. Check out their store on Facebook as well. And don't forget to check out my sister, Miss Patty Greco's Funky Hippie Chic Boutique store as well. She's been doing her daily dress vlogs, and does a great job every time. And you know, she does love a hat. So, listen, you guys, that's all I have to share with you today. I'm going to go wash my marbles and enjoy the rest of my day. I think I'm going to put up a pot of soup. And you'll be hearing from me very soon. But I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day, beautiful week. I'm sending you all my love. As always, blessed be. Take care. I'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye, you guys.